shortcuts. The game like big pitch, came to join up. Yeah, I'm still independent. Ain't sold a million records yet. Used to be on my checklist. Big diamonds don't need a necklace. Look, we built this.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Today it's week 4 and we've got what should be a great one here between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Their first play from scrimmage is a pickup of 13.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, Winston. Johnson's got it complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. The Saints are 1-2 through the first 3 weeks of the season. And they got off to the tough 0-2 start, but come off a very important first win of the season last time out.
And it's tough when you find yourself at an early season crossroads, but that's exactly where they were. At 0-2, they were thinking if we fall to 0-3, things can spin out of control. But now at 1-2, they shouldn't feel the need to press out there. They're now back in a good spot, find a way to win some games, and keep moving forward.
They'll send Landry in motion right. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's got the first down, yardage before being taken down at midfield. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, in a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
Winston now from the 50. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Zadarius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground.
Zadarius Smith switched teams, but never left the NFC North, going from Green Bay to Minnesota in the offseason. Had a back injury in 2021, but 26 sacks in 2 seasons as a Packer prior to that.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. Well, that's a tough, costly penalty, because now it makes it 3rd and 6 after the false start. Now Winston under pressure, and he will go down. sacked back at the 46. Daniil Hunter coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. Here's Blake Gillikin now. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15.
So this game here in London, the first of 5 games in the NFL International Series for 2022. We'll see the Giants and Packers here next week. Broncos and Jags at Wembley at the end of the month. The Seahawks and the Bucs, that'll be in November in Munich, Germany. First time a game's been held there. And then we wrap up down in Mexico City, November 21st. Cardinals and Niners from Estadio Azteca.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
Well, this defense for the Saints, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. So opening drive, 3 straight runs, unable to pick up the first.
I know the fans want to see first downs, but guess what? The coaches have reasons for what they're doing. Sometimes they've scripted it, and some of these runs, while they haven't been successful now, they may be successful later on.
.42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. We're scoreless after 1. The Saints with the football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 2nd and 10. They go play action. Winston. The Vikings after it, and they get there for the sack. Daniil Hunter. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's a fumble. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Here's a quick throw to Thielen. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and that will bring up second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Looking to throw on second down. Cousins. Open man. Once again, it's Thielen.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
He's trying to protect his quarterback's blind side. Got nabbed for the hold.
You have one job over there. Make sure that man does not get hit. So if you have to hold occasionally, do so, because they don't catch all of them. This time they did.
Now they face a second and long following the holding penalty. From the gun, here's Cousins. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one covers 29 yards, first down.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. So in Saints territory now, here's 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Cousins. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that'll bring up second down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play.
So 2nd and 4 from the 22.
On play action, Cousins. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted.
Picked up by Pete Werner. And the Saints will take over here at their own 12-yard line.
Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be second down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
2nd and 7.
From the shotgun, it's Winston.
The slant complete to Michael Thomas.
A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. 2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down. Jameis to throw it. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Blake Gillikin on to punt now on fourth down.
Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls at work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
The key here, as it usually is, protection. Love the design of this one because they leaked the running back out and sent him down the field. But you've got to give a quarterback time to locate him. They did for a nice play.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he stopped immediately there. It was P.J. Williams that time on the tackle. The free safety roaming all the way up to the line of scrimmage to make that stop.
How about his ability to trust his eyes and figure out it was not a pass play and go fast towards the line of scrimmage in order to make that tackle.
Here's Cousins.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick six for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick six in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. I'll tell you this, I wouldn't play cards against this guy in the locker room.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
But I guess that answers the question whether or not they want him throwing it again right away after throwing the pick six on the previous drive.
Yeah, not something conservative or underneath. Pretty big shot right there.
Get him right back in the saddle and said, go ahead and sling it, big guy.
Hey, we're good, we're good.
On second down, Cousins again. This one caught. It's the tight end, Hawkinson. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Cousins now to throw on first down.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield.
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I I'm not sure it made a difference on that play, but one thing to keep in mind, here in the early part of the year during a day game, the sun does play a factor on deep balls.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Cousins. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Saints. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused, because now, if you're an offensive player, you go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think you should take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it out.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. So we've reached halftime with just the lone touchdown here. 7-0 is our score. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. Kene Nwagu now out of his end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter 3.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
He'll fire it deep for Rager. And the third interception thrown by Cousins. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And the Saints are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50.
And that has to be a little bit discouraging, because after all their halftime talk, adjustments, and points of emphasis, their first drive ends with an interception. Absolutely aggravating if you're a head coach, because you spent all that time, gone through every situation possible, and it still ends in a turnover.
A run for Kamara on first down, but the running room closes up quickly as he's only able to get a yard there.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety and being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done. Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
On third down, Winston. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Whether that's a little grabbing, a little hand fighting, by any means necessary on third down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
Now on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that, right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. The struggles continue here offensively. Still nothing for them on the scoreboard, and now an interception.
Yeah, the offense looks extremely sluggish, not really in sync at all. Dare I say, it looks like it got left behind in customs.
Oh, you've had that in your back pocket. You were waiting for that.
Probably should have left it in my back pocket, too.
Well played. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion, but I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete. But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. To throw, Winston.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lewisine. And the Vikings are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. So a big chance goes by the wayside there. A tough break on 3rd and goal.
Yeah, as a general rule, you know you're usually not going to win games with field goals. But in this case, they had 3 points in their pocket. I get what he was trying to do, but that's a big swing of momentum right there.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10.
And space opened up a bit. He's able to take this up past the 10. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he'll go out of bounds after getting this across the 15. A 1st down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen.
Adam Thielen, a terrific wide receiver and synonymous with Minnesota football. You go back to high school, college ball in the state, and now his 9th season with the Minnesota Vikings. 10 touchdown catches last season. Makes a nice catch there.
So a little breathing room now. 1st and 10 at the 17. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
2nd and 9. From the gun, they'll try to run it.
And some space here. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that 1st half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry.
And now here's another interception. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore.
And the Saints are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line.
That is now 5 interceptions that he has thrown in this ball game. If I asked you to speculate what's possibly going on in his head, what would you say?
Well, if he's as mentally strong as I believe he is, he understands that not all these picks have been his fault. You know, some of the throws, yes, but there have been a good number of them where he hasn't been helped by his own receivers, and they've turned into interceptions. So he knows if he keeps firing, perhaps good things can happen, not just in this game, but especially in later ones.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. And 3rd quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock, and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding the clock.
Consecutive runs of 6 yards gives him a 1st and 10.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
This one caught out wide by Landry. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. We have played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Working with a 2nd and 3. Slot man moves right. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them to bring up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. On play action, Winston. Open man is Michael Thomas. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 42. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Winston to give, it's Kamara. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Throw left side complete. That's Thomas. Touchdown, New Orleans.
We talk so often about how hard it is to win in the NFL when you turn the ball over, and here a late turnover leads to a 4th quarter touchdown and a 2-score lead.
And what's more important is being able to take advantage when a turnover presents itself. You've got to come up with points to make the other guy pay. They're able to do so here, and they've got a pretty good chance now of winning this football game.
Lutt's good on the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we're talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down. From the gun, he'll hit. And now a fumble. The ball's out. The Saints say they have it, and they do.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the 4th quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut out. Winston now after the fumble recovery. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. When that ball popped free, we could hear it all the way up here. Those guys down on the field alerting everyone to the fumble. He's lucky that his offensive mates picked him up and jumped on it.
Yeah, and you have to think to yourself, and I'm sure they've been echoing it on the sideline and into the huddle. Guys, we have the lead. Just take care of the football. Don't make it easier for them to start to make a comeback.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Winston. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Third and long for Winston. And this heads straight to the sideline. I don't think they're going to let him get away with that. Nope, they won't. Here comes the flag. Now, if you're going to get rid of it, you better get outside the pocket.
You have to get outside of that tackle-to-tackle box, right? Get out there, and then you can do it legally, but he wasn't able to do so, and they end up losing the down as well.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And they'll get to this and touch it. Looks like, yeah, right at the 15-yard line here. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 15.
Yellow. One.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
This defense just continuing to do their thing, and now they add on to that lead with another pick 6.
And how about the way they played this entire game? Not only they put their stamp on it, but every time they try and mount an offensive challenge, they find a way to thwart it. And multiple pick 6s, oh yeah, they'll enjoy watching this tape after the game.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. He's got a man complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. Cousins now.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
A 2nd down throw for Cousins.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield.
And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. So now 3rd and 10. A big play to start the drive, but nothing since.
Hey, we're good.
Again, it's Cousins. He's going to take another shot here. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've got trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. Open man, it's Rager. He's got it. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
One.
They'll throw again. Cousins. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Jalen Rager, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are finally on the board here in the 4th quarter.
Joseph connects on the extra point.
And they'll cut the lead to 21-7.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They run it again with Kamara. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game.
And this is an absolutely big 3rd down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big 3rd down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here. Now Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted.
Picked off by Lewis Seen.
He had his eyes on the end zone. He got close. At least he set the offense up nicely, but he's probably mad he didn't take that one to pay dirt.
I agree with you, and you know he's going to get teased because he didn't get it all the way into the end zone. But if they don't score now, if they don't get a touchdown, he won't just get teased. They'll be glaring at him. How'd you not score?
Throw left side, taken in by Jefferson.
Touchdown, Vikings!
Justin Jefferson
from 3 yards out.
And the Vikings have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Joseph connects on the extra point.
And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So a 7-point game, they'll need a recovery, the touchdown, and an extra point to tie. And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. The Saints in victory formation now as they'll take the knee. contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
And now they face a 2nd and 6 after the penalty. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Winston will kneel down, and that should be your ball game.
And there it is, the standard symbol. Taking a knee means that one team won, and the other one obviously lost the ball game. But now that team that won is 2-2. After the first 4 games, I think they're okay with a 2-2 start. Not overly happy, but at the same time, not depressed either.
You mentioned to me breaking down a season in quadrants. So the first quadrant is kind of a check, as you said, for okay. Not great, not bad.
Yeah, right now they're just holding serve. They look forward to their next 4. Maybe they can make a surge there.
So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for the Saints, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they also will exit this one at 2-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears.